how do I know of my 10 ideas, which is the idea that I should put all my bread in the basket?
I think what you have to do with an idea is, number one, get it started right away. Don't be second guessing and analyzing and having a business plan, because they don't work once you get to the street. So just get it off the ground. Assuming you get it off the ground, you have to take it to the street and see how people respond to it. I have had more people who thought it was a great idea to have a ridiculous product. They took it to the street and said, would you pay for this? How much would you pay? You could survey. And if nobody responds to it, you've got a bum of an idea. You know?
Yeah, don't waste any more time or
most
energy.
ideas are not good. Most ideas, 9 out of 10 are not good.
9 out of 10?
I would think in the businesses I invested in, I would say 1 in 3 are good ideas, and Shark Tank's eliminated most of the bad ideas. So still only 1 in 3 are a good idea.
Wow.
So,
okay.
What are those all-year-old businesses?
These? No, I haven't. I haven't really launched a lot of businesses. We do podcasts.
I'm just kidding you. Flipping the cards like that.
Those are my old businesses. Those are you probably have that many old businesses that
millions.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I have not millions, but hundreds of businesses. But you know what I do? I think you'd find this interesting.
Okay.
3 months after Shark Tank is on and everybody's happy because they've been found, they're selling their product, they're incredible. I bring them into my office and squeeze their heads in because they're getting a big head and I could feel it. Okay. So I just ask them, what do you want to accomplish in your business? And they ask me a series of 15, 20 questions that they really want to know for me. And they start writing down my answers on a yellow pad or whatever they brought with them. And I know it's going to fail. Because they're taking me on face value like I have the answers. When I get an entrepreneur that comes in and they listen to me, don't take notes, I know they're going to go out and do what they want. And I know I have a winner. And I tell you, it's a tried and true test. 3 months after Shark Tank, I know who my winners and losers are. And you know what I do? I have everybody in a framed picture of all my entrepreneurs around my office. If you ever come, you see all these happy faces before the 3 months hits. And then you see 2/3 of them turned upside down on my wall because I realized
you turn them upside down.
On that first meeting, I go over and I turn them upside down. They took too many notes. They're upside down.
Is that maybe that's a reflection of they don't have their own vision for it? They're kind of leaning on it.
Because people who are in their own business like you know you're going to make that call.
Yeah.
You'll seek out advice, sort of.
Yeah.
But it's only half advice. You're going to make the call. And that's the mark of a true entrepreneur. They make the call.
Yeah. Got to make a call.
Yeah. So I've got a lot of upside down pictures, unfortunately, where I've lost my money.
Have you ever done that where you listen to somebody else early in your business?
I always listen to someone, but from the very early days, I made up my own mind what I was going to do. No matter how big or powerful the person was, I would listen, wow, enamored, to go home and go, he's full of shit. That doesn't really make any sense. But it didn't make any sense measured against my barometer.
Yeah.
Because I had my own big barometer I measured everything against.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the beginning of self-confidence. You don't see it as that, but it is the beginning of self-confidence.
For sure.
And then it develops from there.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if you'd ever had a moment of, why did I listen to that person? Or,
oh, no, I don't think I've ever made that mistake. Even when someone was buying my business, they gave me a great argument why $22 million was the right price for my business. They really did. I listened to them. I said, sure, but I want 66. It's my lucky number. That's it. That makes no logic, but I knew I wanted 66 and I got it.
I think the fear for people too is missed opportunity maybe, or like you said, or confidence.
It's a lack of belief in themselves. You know, 3 years before I sold my business, Merrill Lynch wanted to buy my business. I was so flattered. I was so happy. They were offering me $2 million for my business. This was right before I sold it. It was a terrible year. I had no sales. I felt, oh my gosh, they want me. You know, they must be really smart, all these guys that come in for visits and everything. And they changed their mind, or I would have sold my business. I'm embarrassed to admit I would have sold it to them. And there I was a few years later selling it for so much more money. Wow. But I really thought I would never get another offer. Like this was a one-time thing. I didn't have the confidence that I would think I would make it through that trough and rise back up. I was at a low point in my confidence and I was vulnerable. Thank God they changed their mind.
Sometimes you think you lost to something. You wind up finding something better.
Oh, very often when you look back, you lost nothing at all. Or you actually think of it as a lucky break.
Yeah.
I've had many instances where I look back and I thank God that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always works out.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, usually
pray
it works
it
out.
usually works out.
You sound like a mother now.
Yeah, I'm a mother. What is something that you've spent your money on that has changed your life?
I think the first thing I spent money on was I went to Bergdorf Goodman's with my first commission check of $340, and I bought the fanciest coat I could find. I had no right being there. The lady looked at me like I couldn't afford it in my pea coat, you know. But I walked out of there with that fancy coat with fur on it. And why it was so important is I walked out of there as the real estate queen. It changed my mind. And I wore it for 4 years, every day covering up my clothing that nobody ever saw, because I always worked on the street opening apartment doors. And just having the confidence to buy that coat and make myself who I wanted to be became my compass. I don't think I would have done it without the coat.
How much was the coat?
$330, right up to the $340. I think I went home with a few bucks in my pocket, paying cash for a coat and walking out with a coat on my back, and it smelled new. The collar, it was some kind of a dog fur on the collar, curly, smelled good. I had it also on the cuffs. I could smell it again.
So you were marketing yourself.
I was marketing myself. So anything I've done in my life where I've spent money, which would appear silly, was always on marketing expense in some way. Even when my business was very large, I would spend money on an office I couldn't afford. I would spend money on a partner I couldn't afford to buy, a salesman I couldn't afford to pay. But those are always my best calls. Always. Yeah.
When it's going to move the business forward.
It always moves the business forward.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
And you got to kind of be fearless about that a little.
Well, or reckless.
Both.
Call it what you want.
Or both. What is a guilty pleasure for Barbara Corcoran?
I don't feel guilty about anything.
Really?
Except if I'm overspending. I feel like I'm overspending, like going to the Cayman Islands. That is a guilt. Yeah, that would be a good guilty pleasure. That means you love it, right?
Travel? Or just there?
Well, I travel so much for business, it's lost a little of its allure to sit on a plane again, you know? No, the Cayman Islands, I would say, would be qualified
That's
as
your place.
Guilty pleasure, yeah.
Do it.
It's close by.
Do it big, Barb. Do it. If these are my real life questions, we have a bowl full of them, but I'm just going to give them to you. I am no longer available for
negative people. I avoid them by a mile. They really reach into your pocket in the middle of the night and steal your emotional health. They really do. I just think of them as a bad leprechaun kind of, you know, in the middle of the night. Now, I feel any vibe at all on negativity, I steer away from it. And, you know, you can really judge it. Some people, I've interviewed some people where they're positive in every way, but after they leave my office, I feel like I have a little cloud of sadness. I can't describe it. I can't believe what I'm feeling like. Why would I really accuse them of being sad? They acted happy. But happy people leave a little cloud of happiness behind. My friends do. They leave my apartment. I could still feel their presence. I meet somebody on the street who's very happy. I walk down the street feeling happy. Afterwards, they have a residual of happiness. And it's true. I just would avoid negative people. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. They suck you down.
It's just because sometimes people could be in a bad space in their life or be in a moment, but is there a difference? Like, how can you identify a negative?
Everybody has a bad day.
Yeah.
And that you'd say, hey, how are you doing? It will be better tomorrow. That's different. But a negative person looks at life as like the downside. You know, if you make a policy change running a business, they'll tell you everything wrong with it. If you hire a person who has something about their personality that's unagreeable, but everything about them's phenomenal, they'll focus on the negative. They always find the negative. They find the negative. And the worst part about it, especially in a sales organization, I always made my money on sales, especially in a sales organization, they never feel sorry for themselves alone. They run a little pity party and they invite somebody else in, it's usually like a positive person.
Yeah.
Really, it's just terrible.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of them right away. Yeah. Really. Negative people you can't have in your life.
In business and life.
As well, yeah.
For sure. I'm at my best when?
When I'm playing, really. Playing with anybody. Yeah. It's the most fun.
When I walk in a room, I want people to feel
happy to see me. I think that's very important. Like I'm adding something. Here comes somebody who will add something to whatever we're doing. You know?
That makes you feel good.
Yeah, it makes me feel good.
Are you an emotional person? Like, do you
Deep inside I am, but no, I would say not.
Yeah,
no.
because sometimes women in business, you got to be tough. You got to be strong. Your skin has got to be thick.
I've never apologized for being a woman in business. In fact, I never thought of myself as a woman in business. I thought of myself always as a competitor. I measured myself against men I was competing with. I never thought I had a disadvantage. And so far as being a woman in a smaller business in the early days and thinking, how will I ever climb that mountain? I always thought I had a great advantage that nobody was watching me. I could do whatever I wanted. I had freedom. Nobody cared about me. Nobody was watching me. So I never thought I had a disadvantage in the female area at all, or the smallness area. I always saw them as, I saw myself as an equal. Maybe not in accomplishment, but in capability.
But what about in business? Are you emotional in business?
Not at all. No, I'm cold as ice, I have to say.
Wow.
I make Martha Stewart look warm.
Stop it.
I really did. My decision making and my judgment of things, I'm hard as a rock. I listen hard and then I decide. And you cannot change me once I decide. Not at all. Yeah.
Do you think that's necessary to have the success that you've had, especially for women?
No, I think there are different styles, but I think there's no room for emotion if you're a woman, especially in business. The minute I had a manager once in a while who would cry over just having a bad day, because we all have bad days, she was marked. I never trusted her with more responsibility again.
Really?
Yeah, I never did. I never forgot. Because I thought, you can't cry in business. You just can't cry.
Hey, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and check out all of the other episodes we have on Angie Martinez IRL podcast.